And there on the handle was a hook. Ooh! Welcome back to Rotten Reelz Reviews, audio review. We're at number 43. Well, last Friday the 13th, I did an audio review back when I didn't bother with the moving pitches. And this time around I thought I would tackle another Friday as we all enjoy our camp stories while toasting marshmallows. But some stories can be a little more spooky. This is Friday the 13th, Part 2. Director Stephen Miner of Friday the 13th 2, 3, House, Soul Man, Warlock, and Wild Hearts Can't Be Broken, takes the reins from Sean Cunningham, Friday the 13th, The Strangers Watching, Spring Break, Deep Star 6, after the first movie from his former associate producer title that he held. I mean, the tagline alone is worth viewing. The body count continues. That's not the Myers house. Boo! Boo! It has been 5 years since the massacre at Crystal Lake, and Pamela Voorhees has been killed, and the lone survivor, Alice, played by Adria King, attempts to live her life beyond that nightmare, only feeling, though, as she's being watched. And for those who don't remember the first film, just wait for the highlight dream sequence reels, and away they go. She tosses and turns in her flashback dreams as the nightmares happen again and again, which remarkably look an awful lot like previous footage. She has a spirited argument with her mom about taking care of herself in her own way, and that call apparently left her a bit flustered. Yeah, these things happen. Her small apartment is filled with drawings of disfigured boy that drug her in her water. That and plenty of Ziggy Stardust album cover rejects. As she peers into the refrigerator to find something for dinner, looks like it's gonna be head cheese again. Nope, sorry, that's the severed head of Pamela Voorhees. And then a shooting pain in her right temple. Must be a migraine. Yeah, glad you could get the kettle, but you think you could turn the stove off too? That's just wasting electricity. A group of teenagers come to Crystal Lake to reopen the site and set up a new camp. Hey, millennials, see that object there? That's called a phone booth. Back in them days, phones weren't fitting in pockets. Also, superheroes could strip in them. They were weird times. Man, this guy loved 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon games so much that he cut his face to look like him. And it wouldn't be a continuation without another face. Hi, Crazy Ralph. Yeah, you would think after his less than successful attempt of warding people off at Camp Crystal Lake, he'd just hand him some news clippings from the Crystal Lake Gazette and call it a day. Screaming death, curse, and doom ain't gonna help you there, Brohan. Head counselor Paul Holt, John Fury, his wacky sidekick, Stu Charno. Hey, wait, isn't that guy from Christine? Yeah, oh, whatever. Psychologist girlfriend Ginny, Amy Steele. This camp is looking good for its upcoming summer vacation that they're only apparently months behind. Not too far from Camp Christie, event also known as Camp Blood. So, yeah, enchanting. Because, you know, what kid doesn't want to go out and camp at a mass murder? Yeah, that makes sense. Unbeknownst to our happy campers, Jason Vorhees somehow survived his drowning and was lost in the woods, living off wildlife and vegetation like some confused creature of the wild. Could he be fact? Could he be fiction? Is he right behind you as you listen to this? A quick powwow campfire story about Jason being a legend, and it is kind of odd considering he was drowned as a boy, but yeah, by all means, give us your backstory.
I don't want to scare anyone, but I'm going to give it to you straight about Jason. His body was never recovered from the lake after he drowned. And if you listen to the old-timers in town, they'll tell you he's still out there. Some sort of demented creature. Surviving in the wilderness. Full grown by now. Stalking. Stealing what he needs. Living off wild animals and vegetation. Some folks claim they've even seen him. Right in this area. The girl who survived that night at Camp Blood, that Friday the 13th, she claims she saw him. She disappeared 2 months later. Vanished. Blood was everywhere. No one knows what happened to her. Legend has it that Jason saw his mother beheaded that night, and that he took his revenge. A revenge that he'll continue to seek if anyone ever enters his wilderness again. And by now, I guess you all know, we're the first to return here. 5 years. 5 long years he's been dormant. And he's hungry. Jason's out there. Watching. Always on the prowl for intruders. Waiting to kill. Waiting to devour. Thirsty for young blood.
Sure hope this prop spear doesn't get misused or my face will be red. Ugh, white people dancing. Okay, Jason, you can kill now, by all means. Jeez, went from Crazy Ralph to Peepin' Ralph. Ya peeps, he creeps, ya gets your eternal sleeps. Most disappointing boot camp ever. How are they going to lose that additional weight? Deadites roam the forest. Run! Oh, God, so many shorty shorts. I might actually get nauseous. Yeah. And with tales of blood and murder, that's bound to get any girl frothing at the loins. Local sheriff don't care for slasher movie tropes in this here county. Damn it, more shenanigans in this county. I don't think so. Yeah, looks like the sheriff never skipped gravy boat feast. Well, the bright side is the elects for sheriff have been cut short, as most of the camp crew heads into town for a little partying. Yeah. A smattering of counselors remain at camp to keep the home fires burning, or, thin out the cast. Obviously, to have sex, smoke some of the local reefer, down a few beers, which is the recipe for disaster via the killer's perspective. The irony here, the MPAA deeming the double impalement as X-rated, so they edited it down for the film, but both for the VHS and the theatrical cut. And yet I recall looking at the VHS box as a kid and seeing the spear sticking through both of them in a promo shot. No, it didn't give me nightmares, but it did baffle the hell out of me. And then I was, of course, confused, not seeing the kill that exact same way later years down the road. Out of the darkness, a scuffle happens as Vicky is ambushed by the Phantom Killer from Texarkana, Kansas? Hey, what? Oh, sorry, someone must have spilled the town the dreaded sundown on my Jason movie. One by one, they are systematically slaughtered without provocation, as Jason is a big-time moral crusader against that premarital sex, drugs, and alcohol. Probably doesn't like rock and roll or rap as well. You would think the MPA and he would be natural allies, but I digress. Paul and Ginny come back from pounding beers with Stu, and they notice the campgrounds seem a bit quiet. And surely these kids are playing beer pong or elbow deep in an orgy by now. My theory? They're playing drinking games with the Nintendo Switch. Or dead. Yeah, possibly dead. After Paul and Ginny discover a few blood stains on the sheets, they think something is up. That is never coming out, by the way, so put away the Coke and or white vinegar. Kids playing pranks! Dude, you would have to slaughter a pig for that amount of blood. And no joke is worth that amount of cleanup. I don't care what anyone says. Gotta admit, a guy in a flannel shirt, dicky overalls, and a potato sack for a mask doesn't really make me want to shit my pants. Jason, of course, this time is still mortal, in spite of his endurance and astounding strength levels, but has a mind of a child. So Ginny decides to mess with the mongoloid hillbilly in order to save her own life. Don't remember Mom rocking that nice bud, but meh, whatever. Granted, the special murder effects of Tom Savini will not be found in this film, but are actually taken over by a gentleman of Carl Fullerton. Friday the 13th, Part 3, The Hunger, Spasms, Returning, Swamp Thing, War. And the beautiful, melodious music scores broadcast by composer Harry Sweeney, who is, in fact, I believe, scored for every single Friday the 13th. At least one through up to Jason X. Look, did I spoil that for you?
Come on.
The acting isn't over the top, the lighting and sound is phenomenal, and frankly there are some actually scary moments, rather than the expected point of countless jump scares. With proper pacing, mood, eerie musical score, and atmosphere, you can actually get the feeling this is almost like a horror movie. Yeah, you catching all that, acclaimed screenplay writer, Kevin Williamson? This is how you write a slasher fic? Yeah. 80% less jump scares, you fucking hack. And as I stated in my Texas Chainsaw Massacre review, you have a likable cast of kids filled with hormones, dreams, aspirations. You flesh them out as people, and the kills will start to actually matter to you. You getting that all down, director of bad remakes to good horror films, Marcus Nispel? What, that name not immediately ringing bells for you viewers? Why, he's the director of such films as the 2003 edition of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and the 2009 Friday the 13th. Both epic award-winning films. With a budget of $1.2 million, the sequel is ranked at number 1 of the box office opening weekend and cleared more than $6.4 million on that said weekend, grossing more than $21 million that year. I mean, feel free to give this a view if you're a slasher film. Hell, even if you just want a popcorn film, some decent scares, and some elaborate, over-the-top murders, I'd still recommend this. A quick question here. Anyone envisioning the cast iron stomach you have to have in order to be a state trooper in this part of Jersey? And that was just me. Well, as always, if you guys have any questions, comments, you want to leave me a note or, I don't know, maybe a suggestion, feel free. Shoot it over at Rotten Reelz Reviews on Facebook. You can catch me on Twitter, also Rotten Reelz Reviews. Leave a comment in the comments section. That's also good. But, overall, have a happy Friday the 13th, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this.
These kids smoke better dope than I do.